Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Sarita and I have some empties for you from the month of June. I can't say that it is a box of grandeur or fullness, but it is a box of empties. So let's talk. In no particular order, it looks like I have two Bath & Body Works candles here that I talked about. The first one is this one, which is Orange Lily Blossom. Ooh, look how my nails are like perfect for this candle. Dun, dun, dun. Orange Lily Blossom with, in my opinion, one of the nicest packages here from Bath & Body Works in a very long time. Not that Bath & Body Works does a shabby job with their packaging and marketing, but man, that is snatch. Look at that texturing there on that candle. Oh, just stunning, absolutely stunning. This is allegedly a new fragrance for them. Tiger Lily, Vibrant Sandalwood, and Citrus Waters. I really enjoyed this candle. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. It seemed a little on the shy side when I initially started burning it, but there were some burns in there that got up to 6.5 or so in the open concept. I was really kind of happy with it. Would I have liked it to be a little bit stronger? Yes. This is definitely in their solar floral kind of vibe. But what I do appreciate is that there is a little bit of a softness and an authenticity about the neroli note here. It's not just brassy and mineral and like cliche sunscreen. It really is like a little bit more toward orange blossom than to neroli, but there's still a good amount of neroli in it. Not quite as good as like the orange blossom candle is from Bath & Body Works, which I think we've only seen in a single one wick. But yeah, I liked it. Burned great, very minimal sooting. Looked fantastic once it was burned, kind of filtering through that amazing like tapestry-like design. Just really beautiful. I said this when I reviewed it, but if you're looking for a candle to purchase during this awful semi-annual sale, and you will be, especially toward the end when they start panic offering all kinds of discounts. They even had like a flash 20 the other day, I think, but I suspect the number of products, the number of candles that we still have on the floor, that there are going to be some serious candle sales coming up. If you're looking for something to purchase, you could definitely do worse than Orange Lily Blossom. Beautiful for the summer season and really beautiful for any season. It's just very nice, especially if you have no qualms about burning a tropical floral at some other time in the year. Yeah, I liked it. Was it brilliant? Is it changing my life? Is it blowing my mind? No, but you know, the bar is quite low on Bath & Body Works right now, and I'm happy to say that Orange Lily Blossom cleared it, and I do recommend it on some level. I also recommend this candle from Bath & Body Works. I just reviewed this one off the vine, which is their vaunted. Oh, look at the texture on that one too. Ooh, yes. Again, packaging quite good here, quite good. It's got this like rustic, like, you know, Eastern European or Italian Greco kind of ceramic look to it. Really, really beautiful, but also classy at the same time. Really nice. I did say that I think a lid. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look how much nicer that looks right there. Whoo! Yeah, with that green lid from the Tropical collection. At any rate, yes, very nice candle. This is, I believe, a dupe of a popular bougie perfume from Replica that is in the garden, I believe. Oh, I meant to bring you guys that. Hold please, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'm back. Guess what? I wasn't lying, and I absolutely do have it. Folks, here it is right here. This is Replica, and it's a candle actually. They have made several of their perfumes into like a bougie candle on the side, and this is actually the candle in question. It is called, and see, you've got that apothecary kind of design there where they like do the typewritten old-fashioned typewriter print. So this is Replica. Is my camera showing backwards design for you? Possibly. In which case this is not very helpful. All right, so I'll read it for you. This is from the garden. The provenance and period is Puglia. It's Italian, 1998. Not that it matters much what the date is. Fragrance description is earth and tomato leaves. And the style description is memory in a candle. Okay, fine. Yeah, so I got this from Sephora. Sephora carries many of the Replica perfumes. And obviously some other like flanking things, you know. I think Ulta has some of the Replica fragrances too, but only a handful of them. I do think Sephora has the bigger line of them. But as you can see, there's just this kind of picture of somebody with a basket full of tomatoes. I believe this Bath & Body Works candle is the dupe of this. I have obviously not burned this, but I'm glad to remind myself that I still have this in my storage, and perhaps now would be a good time to bring it out, given that we are in a tomato moment. Here's what the candle looks like from Replica. Once again, all of that information is right there. Yeah. Very similar fragrances. I do think that the Replica one does seem a little bit more botanically authentic than Bath & Body Works. And Bath & Body Works does have a stronger amber note in it, I think, than the Replica one does. But this Replica one is a perfume quite obviously as well. Yeah, I just think it's maybe a little bit more stripped down than the Off the Vine from Bath & Body Works. Weirdly, it also has this almost like smoky note, but I don't know, that could be a corruption. It could also be like a storage corruption, who knows. But yeah, very similar fragrances. And this is very obviously what Bath & Body Works was at least modeling or inspiring their fragrance by, is this Replica here. Whereas this Replica, I think, probably was about $50 for this 8 ounce. Because that's how the bougie companies run their business. I mean, I didn't pay 50 bucks for it. I think it was on sale, it was on clearance, and then I believe I could take an extra 20% off of it. I can't remember what I got it for, but I want to say that it was in the like $20 to $30 range, somewhere in there. And, you know, given the fact that I love these kinds of fragrances, I did go ahead and spring for it. Ooh, the candle's coming out of the... Oh, that's not a good look, but, you know, it happens. The glass is obvious, or the wick is not sealed, but that's okay. Yeah, I'll keep this one out and I'll probably burn it soon. Because we're having the tomato moment, and yeah, might as well. So there you go. That's what is being duped here by Bath & Body Works. I was talking to Virgil, or Virgil was commenting on my video the other day, and he mentioned, because he didn't like the candle, and Greg from All About Candles didn't like it. I don't even think Kent loved it all that much. It was kind of a polarizing candle for Bath & Body Works, which is strange, because I would have thought more people would have liked this for a whole host of different reasons. But I'm sure that as I said before, the Bath & Body Works development staff thought this would just be a complete slam dunk, given how popular this company is, Replica, given this summer girly tomato, whatever, trendingness, and the fact that this is a really popular fragrance for Replica. I think they probably thought this was going to be a slam dunk, and probably should have been. The problem is that the notes on the bottom say heirloom tomato, garden geranium, and Mediterranean moss. And there is nothing in the notes themselves that would indicate that this is actually a perfume conceptual, not a botanical. And since Bath & Body Works has a candle company that they run that does in fact do botanicals, there was just no reason for, I think, their consumer demographic to immediately assume that this wasn't just a botanical candle. And there are a lot of people out there who wanted that kind of a candle, the kind of candle that would fit very well in the neutrals line, for instance. And Virgil was saying that the other day. He was like, I just didn't know it was going to be a perfume at all from the notes. So I do think that some of the polarizing notes on this candle, feedback from consumers, have been people who just were expecting one thing and simply got something else. If you didn't know that this was a dupe for the Replica perfume, you didn't know that it was going to be primarily a perfume conceptual with very strong tomato vine overtones, then you were going to be disappointed if you just wanted a stripped down botanical candle, because it's just not that. It is, in fact, a single perfume launch, and it's the reason why it came out in all of the flankers. I do want to give Virgil et al. Some pass here because the notes really don't indicate that it's a perfume conceptual. However, the fact that it was coming out in a body splash and a perfume and a lotion and all of the different things probably should have given everybody a little bit of pause if they were thinking this was just going to be a stripped down botanical, because obviously that's just not something that would normally come out in like a perfume format. So there's that. And then I think there were maybe the people who loved the body care launches and the body care perfume launch, like Butterfly, etc., Sweetest Song, and we're expecting this to just be another generic Bath and Body Works like perfume launch. And in fact, it's like a very bougie kind of avant-garde perfume in the style of Replica that is kind of offbeat. There are maybe too many people who would expect a tomato vine note to be prominent in a woman's perfume. So I think those folks were disappointed by it. And then I just think less people liked it than probably should have, because it is quite a well executed fragrance. It smells expensive. It really does. And not all of, as we well know from the Everyday Luxuries line, not every one of their perfume dupes lands with authenticity and lands in such a way that really gives us a premium experience. Many of the dupes from Bath and Body Works are just not very premium smelling. They smell cheap. They smell like a Bath and Body Works take on fill in the blank. This is really not one of them. This is very, very sophisticated. I felt the same way with Salted Amber and Vetiver, which is really a perfume conceptual, and that just came out in the candle form, but frankly could come out in all of the flankers as well. That dropped in the Neutrals line a couple of years ago, and it was a very, very good fragrance for them. And I said at that time that I did think that that candle was so sophisticated, and that perfume conceptual was sophisticated enough for it to kind of smell like a Jo Malone or something like that. I would put this in the same category, not as a Jo Malone, in this case as a Replica, but again, is really kind of punching above its price point. So I think it's a very, very successful launch for them, a very successful product. The packaging and the marketing was thoughtful and great and on brand and beautiful. And I think that the body care was quite good as well, as long as you don't mind kind of an offbeat fragrance and don't mind smelling a little bit like a vegetable garden. But that's where we are in the year of our Lord 2025. We just need a little something offbeat now, you know? The viral trends are not generic. So yeah, I thought this was a good candle. It also performed decently. I would say in the open concept, it was a 6.5. And for it to be a perfume conceptual hitting at a 6.5, that's probably about where you want it. Could it be stronger? Yes. But as a perfume, maybe you wouldn't want it that strong in your house. So I thought it was very fine. I personally wouldn't repurchase it just because I don't love perfume conceptuals. I wouldn't say that that's my wheelhouse, my favorite genre. That said, when it's well executed, I can get behind it. This one I definitely could. So there you go. There's Off the Vine, and I will try and burn this Replica 8-ounce single wick at some point, at least, so that I can tell you how that one burns, should you be interested. This one I have not finished. This is the Aldi fresh picked tomato, which, public service announcement, if you did want more of a stripped down botanical garden tomato fragrance, you could really do worse than this candle. This is very beautiful, very authentic, very strong, very vegetable garden, very little of the amber and bergamot that would make it more of a body care fragrance. It is selling right now at Aldi's for the price of $4.49, but they are going fast. So if you've got an Aldi's near you, definitely try to grab one if you are at all interested. And obviously that'll make its way into the empties for the month of July once I get that done. Let's stay with the tomatoes. So here is another brand new candle, another tomato candle here. This one is from Yankee Candle called Sun Gold Tomato. They did a mini collection, I think it was called In the Garden, and there was this one, and there was also an herbal candle. Actually, I have the herbal one as well, so we can talk about them in the same junction. This one is Emerald Herbs. And then there was a very bad candle that was, it was some kind of tea, honey tea candle. Ugh, yikes. It was just extremely medicinal, and kind of smelled like a cough drop. Because as you know, a very standard profile for a cough drop is honey and herbs or herbal. Menthol. That candle was just straight up cough drop. So yeah, I mean, I would say that if you like the herbal teas, you won't necessarily like that candle. That was not well executed. There was also one that was kind of like a men's cologne conceptual having to do with the rain. That one was very cliche as well. And then was there another one in that lineup? Or was that it? Was it just the 4? It may just have been the 4, in which case the best 2 were these 2, Emerald Herbs and Sun Gold Tomato, respectively. I burned them all the way down. As you can see, there's some like moderate soot here, but really quite decent burn considering how long you have to burn these tumblers. And even toward the end, which is when most of that little darkness happened, really a fairly clean formula. This is their soy blend formula. Not all of their candles burn this clean, but most of them do. So both of them were kind of the same in that respect. Sun Gold Tomato is a much more let's put it this way, it's closer to the botanical stripped down than it is to a personal fragrance, which is kind of a pleasant surprise from Yankee Candle, because lately they have been overusing the perfume and cologne conceptual category, but they managed to steer clear of that here for Sun Gold Tomato. It is a strong tomato vine note, and then also a very strong, what they're calling a tomato flesh smell, that also has a great deal of floral in it, probably a jasmine or some other sort of white floral. But the note here is fruity as opposed to savory. And I think that it actually almost goes more cherry and strawberry than it does true tomato. But with the tomato vine note, does give off the ballpark of some sort of tomato fragrance. I wouldn't even say cherry tomato. I mean, I would just say straight up cherry. But the cherry / strawberry note here is muted, and it's not like super candied. It's very pleasant and actually just works well in conjunction with the more green and vegetal notes in it. So I enjoyed it. And actually, of the 3 tomato candles here, I liked this one probably second best. First best is frankly the Aldi one, but the second best would be the Sun Gold Tomato. I did prefer this over the Bath & Body Works. It doesn't smell as premium or as expensive as the Bath & Body Works, but I do prefer more of the botanical, even the fruitiness of it over the perfume of the Off the Vine. So I do have to give props to Sun Gold Tomato for that. Sun Gold Tomato didn't perform badly. This was one that I could at least get something out of in the open concept. Like maybe it was kind of getting up to like a 5 or something like that. In the back bedroom, it did significantly better. I think it was probably more in the 6 or 6.5 realm, although I wouldn't necessarily call it a bedroom scent. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It was decent in its performance. And before I experienced the Aldi candle, I would say that it's one of the better performing tomato candles that I've smelled. And I've tried a lot of luxury tomato candles. This Emerald Herbs one wasn't bad either. It's a lot of thyme. Thyme as in the herb thyme, Thyme. I think it's supposed to have some other unlisted generic herbal notes in it as well. But for my money, it's mostly a thyme candle. I'm not getting a whole lot else. Maybe some back notes of oregano in there, but mostly thyme. It wasn't a bad candle. It just didn't perform as well for me as Sun Gold Tomato did. The Emerald Herbs was very bad in the open concept. I could barely smell it. In the back bedroom, I could get it up to maybe a 4. Not a whole lot more than that. So I would say it was underperforming as a candle. And have I smelled better herbal candles? Probably. I think it needed a few other herbs in it. A rosemary, maybe something leafy and green like a basil, or I don't know, even a mint, or just something in there. An Italian parsley. I don't know what else. It needed something. It needed something. I do appreciate that they didn't just like throw a lot of like sweet aloe in it, you know, in lieu of herbs, and make it like a kind of generic green candle. I appreciate that what we've got here is a very authentic like Italian thyme, but it's just thyme and that's it. And it really needed a little bit more, certainly to amplify the candle, but I think also probably in a fragrance profile sense. So not a complete disaster, but not a rousing success either. That was Emerald Herbs. Let's stay with Yankee Candle. This one is from the Sun and Games collection on the green. And this actually is a fairly green candle with a great deal of aloe in it. It says that it is pear and water lily, but it's a lot of that like green aloe that you probably remember from Aloe and Agave from last year, which was a very successful candle for them. I like Aloe and Agave a little bit better than this one, but I like this. This one is a little bit on the fruity side and a little bit more floral than the Aloe and Agave. And on top of it, it also has this kind of back grassy note, which is very appropriate to the marketing and the branding. Yeah, it was a very pleasing candle. I tried this in the centerpiece before this and hated it. The centerpiece was terrible. It was brassy. It didn't have hardly any strength and throw. It wasn't as green, like it just did not perform. And I don't know all the reasons for that. I really don't. I was really kind of holding my breath. I mean, at that point I'd already purchased the 3-wick. And so I was like, well, I guess I have to go through with it. But I was cringing and not expecting great things from this candle. I'm very happy to say that the candle itself performed much better than the centerpiece did and smelled much better. So usually there's not that much of a discrepancy between like a melt as opposed to a burn. But in this case, the candle smelled significantly better, at least than my centerpiece. Very minimal sooting, burned like a dream. And the performance wasn't bad on it. It wasn't great either, but I would say in the back bedroom, it definitely got up to like a 6. So pleasant enough, definitely on the green. And I do recommend it. I think it was probably one of the best in that Sun and Games collection. Definitely the most pleasing. A really gorgeous spring fragrance. Dewy, green, just very nice. I do like aloe and agave a little bit better than it. I have bought this a while back. Excuse me, this is a wax melt, but it's from Woodwick. This is Melon Blossom, and it's actually appropriate that I just talk about this now because I actually think this was very similar in smell to the On the Green Pear and Water Lily. This one actually it's not as green for obvious reasons. In fact, it was this like pink wax here, very soft. This is melon, but it's got cucumber in it. There you go. Melon, cucumber, violet leaf, lemon blossom. Yeah, it's kind of it's a fruity floral, and it was greener than you would expect the way that it came off. Kind of aquatic leaning, I think, with that cucumber and melon. Like I said, this one is more green and grassy, but they were actually similar fragrances in the way that they came across. At least they're in the same category, in the same profile. Didn't perform all that great, so I don't know how interested I would be in it going forward, but I did melt it 3 times. So there you go. That's Woodwick Melon Blossom. Not a bad fragrance. Maybe a fragrance shy of it being brilliant, and I would definitely want a little bit of a better performance on it. I have a Village candle here. Oh, I liked this one. This is Summer Breeze here. With the blue, it kind of reminds me, not Bath & Body Works. Yankee has this blue candle called, what is it called? It's like Blue Summer Sky or something like that. I think it's Blue Summer Sky. I like that fragrance a great deal as well. They're similar fragrances. This one is, it's got this like floral in it that's fruity and almost a little bit tropical. It's kind of like freesia-like in its fruitiness, you know what I mean? Like a sweet pea and a freesia. But then it's also got this like soapy freshness about it too, which I think is the stand-in for like, you know, outdoor, you know. Yeah, Summer Breeze. It's nice. It's nice. It's kind of one of those nice like summer floral conceptuals. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the performance on it wasn't bad. It didn't greet me at the front door, let's put it that way. So it wasn't a house filler, but it was decent. It filled the back bedroom pretty well, so I was happy with it, and I would be interested in burning one of these in candle form. And it was this blue right in here. So yeah, it's been a while since I've smelled Blue Summer Sky from Yankee, so I can't say which one I liked better. I think probably the Yankee one, but I liked this one a great deal. Yeah, that was good. Another Village, gosh, I love this fragrance. This is Secluded Dunes from Village Candle, one of my favorite fragrances from them, but it has literally negative strength in throw. And now I have tried it in wax form and I've tried it as a candle form, and both times I swear it took fragrance out of the atmosphere like a black hole. I mean, it was negative. It was absolutely negative, and it's such a shame because this is a gorgeous fragrance. How to even describe this? This is another, again, summer conceptual. Not a body care conceptual, not a perfume conceptual. It's a little bit fruity. It's a little bit floral. It's a little bit soapy. It's a little bit mossy. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's got lily in it, like a beach lily and, you know, all those different kinds of things. Oh, I really, really like it. And it's got just a little bit of a back note of brine, ocean brine. I love this candle. I love this fragrance, but it does not perform. I mean, it's up there with like Yankee Candle. What was it? Beechwood? What's the Yankee Candle? Seaside Woods? Oh, I think it's Seaside Woods. You know, the taupe one? That's one of my favorite fragrances from Yankee. Just, I love it. It's intoxicating. It's just, it's delicious. I love Seaside Woods, but again, negative strength and throw. What can you say if you can't smell it? No. And Seaside Wood, it's another one of those like beachy conceptuals. Oh, I just love it so much. Why does it not perform? I did try melting it, and honestly, it was so bad that I was like, why even bother? Why even bother with the second half? There you go. Village Candle. I burned some wax melts from Chestnut Hill, which is that company from West Virginia / Pennsylvania / Ohio, because it's right where all three of those states come into coordination with each other within a 10-mile radius. Chestnut Hill, some of their candles, I mean, some of their wax melts, I bought like an entire box of them. Some of them have been hits. Many of them have been misses and have just been, again, negative strength and throw. This one was a hit. I don't know that it was a rousing hit, but it was a hit. Not a house filler, but definitely you could smell it. You could smell it certainly in the back bedroom, and it kind of filtered into the open concept. This is roasted coffee. Y'all know how much I love my coffee and how much I love my coffee fragrances. This one was great. It really was. It does have a back note of chocolate, which I don't necessarily love. I do think that a very strong, deep, dark, roasty, dark coffee candle fragrance should be sufficient without us adding mocha or chocolate. However, it works well, and it doesn't take away from the roasty coffee beans here. It was a very nice fragrance. Not too sweet, and performed decently. So I would be very interested in getting this in candle form and seeing how this goes. So here you go, roasted coffee, and I think I have the other one in the freezer right now, so that I may dislodge it from my wax warmer. Last but not least, I have 4 Trader Joe's candles. So Trader Joe's has, I actually went to Trader Joe's to get the tomato vine candle, but I was too late. They've sold out and they have moved on before I was able to get it. I'm not a huge Trader Joe's girly. There's some people that go like multiple times a week. My friend does, for instance. I just don't. I don't know. You know, when I'm there, I always like take a couple things home, but like I'm always amazed. All the things that they have in that store, I'm not interested in that many of them. So I go into Trader Joe's very sporadically. I also, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is, actually, because I'm one of those weird people who fetishizes grocery stores. I just, even if I don't need any food, I just enjoy going to the grocery store and taking my cart and walking the aisles. I have walked out of grocery stores and not bought anything, but just spent 40 minutes walking the aisles. And there's just something soothing in my heart, mind, and soul of just doing that. Maybe like one of those evolutionary, like hunter-gatherer things. I just need to take my basket and make sure that I know what's going on in this grocery store, you know? Haven't been here for a few days. What do you have? What's going on? You know what I mean? Anyway, Trader Joe's is one of those grocery stores I have never felt that way about. And it is, I'll tell you what it is. It is because that store is too crowded for me. It's way too crowded. Like, it's stressful. Whereas like most grocery stores, especially if you go at an off time, an off hour, you like aren't bumping into people. And for me, like I'll sip my coffee and I have one of those moments. Like it just takes me to a Zen place. And I know that's bizarre, but sometimes I need to just calm down in my heart and mind. And I just need to go to a grocery store and walk the aisles. And by the end of the freezer aisle, like I am in a Zen place. Trader Joe's does not get me there. It is the opposite. I have to brace myself when I walk in the door because it does not matter what time of day it is. It will be jammed packed full of people, and the floor space of Trader Joe's is so small that it's just an onslaught the entire time that you're there, and you're just praying to get out of there with your basket of like packaged goods. It's the opposite of stress release. So anyway, I just needed to explain why it is that I don't go into Trader Joe's. And there are multiple reasons, but that's the main one. Anyway, for your sake, I braved Trader Joe's because I wanted to get the tomato vine candle, which I had heard great things about. Fortunately, no, but they do have a 3-pack here of summer favorites. One is called Lime Basil. One is Stone Fruit and Jasmine. Sorry, candle's not focusing. Or camera. And last but not least, Fig and Bergamot. And I smelled all of them and I liked them. The Trader Joe's fragrances generally smell above average. These ones are a little on the conceptual side. So where it says Fig and Bergamot, I'm not getting a lot of, like, I don't know that I would put my finger on a fig note, but it is some kind of fragrance that is quite interesting and nice. It's a conceptual, and it's kind of peppery, and it's kind of vaguely fruity, vaguely floral. It's real interesting. Very interesting fragrance. Lime and basil. Now that is a great deal of citrus, but thankfully it's not too candied. Whew, that is aromatic. That is aromatic for sure. Not so much basil. And then the stone fruit and jasmine. Oh, I can hardly smell it because I'm just getting a lot of soot here. But it was very nice. At any rate, they were all 3 very disappointing once I burned them. Even adjusting my expectations for this size of a candle, even in the guest bathroom, I could get hardly anything out of all 3 of them. And also, even more disappointingly, whatever was kind of brilliant and interesting about each one of these fragrances completely dissipated once it was burned, and they just became extremely cliched, weirdly very soapy candles, all 3 of them. Neither one of them I would have said was particularly soapy on cold, but they are once burned, and they have no strength and throw. So I really don't recommend those. However, I did pick up another one that was on the shelf at Trader Joe's. This is Grapefruit. Man, this leapt out of the jar at me. It is a true bracingly sour grapefruit fragrance. Oh, and I do love grapefruit fragrances. I'm always chasing the grapefruit fragrance. Same with peach, which by the way, they did have a peach candle as well. Man, I almost got that one, but it was a little bit too weirdly body odor musky. I just did not enjoy it. So I thought, no. It also seemed a little shy, whereas this grapefruit one was like, it almost makes your eyes water like when you smell it. And I'm very happy to say that the strength and throw on this one was good. It's not gonna fill your house with that single wick. But it filled the bathroom, and it filled out of the bathroom into the hallway, etc. It has pretty good strength and throw. I would love to get a candle like this in a 3-wick. I think it would be fantastic. It is grapefruit, and that is it. But it's a very well executed, authentic, like I said, bracing grapefruit fragrance. I do recommend this one. I think it was like $3.99 or $4 or something like that. And yeah, that one was really good. I do have to say that all of them tunneled quite a bit. No matter how long I burned it, it just did not clear the sides. These did a little bit better in terms of that, but even these kind of tunneled a little bit, or at least dragged on the side. This one tunneled a great deal every single time I burned it, and there was nothing I could do about that. I did burn the majority of the candle, but just be aware of that the diameter on these is probably a little bit too wide given that single wick. But if you can put up with that, yes, it was a very, very nice grapefruit candle. Friends, that's what I've got for you. That was June. Join me for July. I'll catch you in the next one.